Welcome back to the Masquerade of Misery. I'm Miss Arable, and today let's talk about jobs, shall we? So welcome back to this channel, and today I'm going to discuss the topic of jobs that I believe is a topic that many people like discussing, and I'd like to point out lots of bullshit that annoys me and I believe most of the people as well. Just let's start at the beginning of the process of looking for a job. What a pain it is, because first of all, there are jobs or companies that request that you write a motivational letter and send it along with your CV. And to me, it's one of the most useless, biggest bullshit things, because every company or every position that you apply to, you will have to amend your motivational letter. And for fuck's sake, let's admit, what motivates us to choose that job or to apply for the job? I don't know, maybe because, we are out of money, we don't have a job, and therefore we won't be able to pay the rent or the bills or buy food or clothing or whatnot. And therefore, you need a goddamn job. So this process is a pain in the ass. And you have to basically the motivational letter is like a commercial about yourself. Why you are the best candidate and how good of a company simp you're gonna be if they choose you. All the experiences you've gained, all the knowledge, how long your tongue is, of course. As soon as I see that a company requires a motivational letter, I just fucking click the X and close the tab. I don't give a fuck anymore, because I won't waste my time on this bullshit. As far as I have noticed, it's going out of fashion, at least here in Hungary. I don't know about the other countries, but I just want it to disappear. What a useless piece of shit thing to do. Let's say that you apply for a job, and of course you wait, who knows how long, and the amount of red flags that you have to be aware of, because if they call you way too soon, that can also be suspicious, because you are thinking that they should receive maybe hundreds of applications and mine was that outstanding, and they want immediately an interview. Strange. Then you go to the interview. There is basically a game of lies and bullshitting that both you and the interviewer know. They will have to make the company as appealing to you as possible, and for you have to sell yourself. You have to advertise yourself like you're a goddamn product, because in their eyes that's what you are. They don't give a shit about you as a person, as a human being. You will be just another number added to that lovely slave factory. There are just so many questions that sicken me to no end. These things like, why do you think you will be the best candidate? Why do you want to work for us? What motivates you? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Hopefully in a coffin, I would say. Or in an urn with my ashes in it. Motherfucker. And what motivates you? If you pay me well, and if you leave me the fuck alone, that's what motivates me. And if you don't tire me with bullshit all the fucking time. Then why did you choose us? Why do you want to work here? First of all, I don't want to work here. I don't want to work anywhere. It's just necessary for me to survive and to not starve to death. And why? Because out of all the advertisements I have browsed, yours seem to be the most decent, meaning maybe with the least amount of bullshit. So in these job interviews, everyone knows that the questions mean something else, your answers mean something else than what you truly mean. You have to look, oh, I'm so motivated, yes, I wanna build a career and devote myself to the company and sell my soul to Satan and sign that contract as soon as possible. And then of course the company or future employer of yours have to pretend that, yeah, we will value you so much and your work and all that. And yeah, maybe what they mean by that is that they will give you a salary that is sufficient enough for you to not starve to death and maybe to pay the bills and the rent. But most of the time, let's face it, especially as young people in their 20s or 30s, we will need help from our parents or who knows who else. So what a piece of shit this is. Then once you are in the company, you will face one of the big benefits that they listed in the job advertisement. My favorite, the team buildings. I always fucking hated this bullshit. I believe it surely originates from the US and other Western countries, because in Hungary at least, or I'm sure that in many other countries, this wasn't in practice. Maybe 15 or 10 years ago, you didn't really hear about this much. And now, most companies, of course, come up with this bullshit as if it's so great. First of all, if the colleagues or co-workers, they wanna organize something together, so be it. If they want it really, then let them enjoy themselves, right? What I despise is when they force you, who maybe don't want to take part in this personally, in my case. I think it's more than enough to look at these faces in the office for 5 days a week and 6 to 8 hours a day. And you know, it might be surprising, but I don't want to look at these same fucking faces even when my work time is over. Probably I just want to go home, enjoy myself, be on my own, recharge my drained batteries, because as an introvert, even the presence of other people drain me as hell. Or, you know, maybe you just want to spend time with people that you actually like and you barely have the chance to do so because, well, you are a 9-to-5 slave. And it's disgusting when they even dare to get offended, like, you always make excuses, you don't want to enjoy time with us, then we are a team, come on, how can you be so negative and not enjoy yourself a little?
What the fuck is wrong with you, Max? Why don't you just die? You hate life. You're miserable all the time. Afraid to enjoy yourself even a little.
And let me tell you what they mean by enjoying themselves and having team buildings. It has nothing whatsoever to do with building a stronger relationship and companionship with each other. It's all about having an excuse to get piss drunk. That's what it means. And to eat lots of goddamn food in a fancy restaurant that otherwise maybe they would say that, oh, it's too expensive, so I can't afford it. But when the company pays it, then let's do our best to get full and wasted. Oh, and what to me is the most infuriating is when they organize team buildings that also requires time maybe from your weekend, or in general maybe it's a team building that lasts 2 days, let's say. So basically you even spend the night in that fucking place with these fucking people that you don't give a shit about. Just the thought makes me sick to my stomach. I couldn't do this shit. And never will. I will always find a way to get myself out of these things, just like I did at school. The words I despise the most is obligatory. No, don't fucking dare to oblige me to do anything. It's enough for me to be a slave and fuck up most of my day with fucking meaningless bullshit. So let me spend the rest of my time as I wish, okay? Another thing that could be, beneficial about team buildings, especially if you spend the night there, it's a perfect opportunity for coworkers to hook up or for the boss to finally bang that pretty little assistant that he has. Yeah, that's what it's about. So in conclusion, to keep it short, team buildings have nothing to do with you and your colleagues building a better companionship and work together better. They will still talk behind your back whenever they have the chance. Or maybe they will be snitches and tell the boss that you've been naughty in a company. Forget about human rights. I don't know how it is in other countries, but for example, here in Hungary, since 10 years or so, I don't know, they modified the labor law that now the 30-minute lunch break that you dare to take to eat food, how dare you slave be a human and have needs, like food or needing to pee or shit and other things. So basically, before this, it was included in your work time in your 8 hours. And now, the 30 minutes that you dare to spend on eating, that half an hour is added as an extra work time for you. Luckily, there are companies who don't really give a shit about this, and you can still leave if you have finished all your tasks, and they don't force this crap so strictly. Luckily, my workplace is one of these companies. Thankfully, they are flexible with these things, or when you have to make a doctor's appointment or you have other things to take care of, they let you. You can work from home if you wish. So thankfully, I managed to find a good place, let's say. But others are not so fortunate, and it still infuriates me. And yeah, I'm talking about flexibility. When they say, oh, you have to be flexible, you know what it means. That they can stretch and stretch and stretch you until you snap in half. And to drain and squeeze the shit out of you, that's what it means to be flexible. That you are always there for the company. You can always sacrifice your free time that you are spending at home already. And be always ready to answer that phone if your boss calls you. Be ready to lick the acids that you need to lick at any time, maybe even if it's your weekend. So many disgusting things about this society and the life and how things work in the job market. Sickening. That's all I can say. Most companies, even though they don't consider you a human being and they can do whatever they want to drain you and pay shit wages for you, but in return they do expect your devotion, your utter devotion, to sell your soul and to sacrifice your private life and everything else for the company, because the company is the church where you have to fucking worship these motherfuckers who don't give a shit about you. Also, how dare you get sick? How dare you have private life issues? How dare you have any mental health problems? How dare you function like a human being? How dare you not be a biorobot? Actually, I can give a personal example from my previous workplace. I was in a very, very deep and dark place mentally. I struggled with very bad depression. I had zero desire to live, and well, some things don't change. But I'm still in a better place now. But I don't simp for life. I still think it's bullshit and an asteroid should really come. And our Lord and Savior, the Reaper. So this personal story is that I was getting really bad with my mental health, and somehow, of course, it turned out that it affected my performance at work, and What pissed me off so much and was the most disgusting is that, instead of talking to me like, the boss or maybe my coworkers, there was only one girl that was on really good terms with, and I could talk to her about some of these personal issues, but otherwise, my supervisor or my boss did not give a single fuck about, how I'm doing actually. All they cared about, of course, was the profit, because that's the most important thing, profit and money. So when the time came that they had to discuss my productivity and the mistakes I have made, before that, I was praised quite often that I'm doing a good job, I learned fast, and they didn't notice that maybe the decline in the quality of my work is caused by something, and maybe they should ask me about it. Oh, forget about that. Forget about empathy and caring about things like that, these trivial things. Yeah, and let me tell you that I was only 4 months in this new workplace when the boss came up with the idea to give me one of the most difficult and complex tasks. And I already knew that shit is gonna be difficult and probably I won't be able to handle it. And then, are you surprised later that maybe I'm not doing the best job? Maybe it's because you gave me too much weight to carry on my shoulders, responsibilities, tasks that I couldn't complete perfectly with that knowledge I had. I was working as a purchase assistant and I never have before this. So I had to learn everything from scratch, and I managed to do so quite well. However, this task he gave me was still too big of a bite for me to swallow, and it was not suiting my skills actually. But yeah, let's give the new girl all the hard bullshit responsibilities and tasks to do. And then he dared to fucking blame me for making mistakes or not doing things perfectly. And then when this meeting took place that discussed my, my productivity and my work, of course none of them asked that, is there something bothering you? Is everything alright in your private life that might cause this decline in your productivity? No, nothing like that. What I received instead was that, okay, I give you 1 month and let's see if you improve, but there won't be a next time that we come and talk. Meaning that I'm gonna get fired. What I also despise is when there's zero communication, because they started telling me things like, oh, so these sales experts, these sales colleagues say that you didn't do this or you made this mistake, that mistake, and why the fuck didn't they tell me about it? Because, if someone doesn't tell me that there's a problem or I make a mistake or they don't specify what mistake I make, then how am I supposed to correct that mistake and not make it again? Oh, but, why should we talk about these things? It's easier to talk behind each other's backs, complain to the boss and have someone fired, right? It's easier. And then after this meeting took place, do you think he waited a whole month and gave me enough time to improve? Of course fucking not. This motherfucker and my supervisor one day unexpectedly basically attacked me by, okay, come to the office. It was maybe 2 weeks after that meeting took place where we discussed, this stuff about me. So not even half a month passed, and then basically he had the papers ready for me to go. He already slid the ending of the contract on the table that, okay, you can choose from this one or this one. And one where it's a mutual agreement that I leave the company, and the other is that he straight up fires me. And then I was like, I felt it was such a backstab, so disgusting, and I was boiling. Basically, they were like, okay, that's it. And the motherfucker, I think he even kind of went against the law or went around it somehow, because if you fire someone after the probation, you need to give them a 30 days time before they leave. So basically it's also to give time for the employer to look for someone new in your place, but also for you to start looking for jobs and perhaps find a new one, and you don't need to fucking worry about being unemployed and not having money. But no, he said that, okay, from tomorrow you don't need to come anymore, as if I made such a huge fucking mistake. And it's just disgusting. My brother and I were also talking about this and said that, yeah, the best way to treat someone who has deep depression and suicidal thoughts and many other problems, yeah, that's what you need to do. Fire them from their job instead of maybe get them some help or give them somehow or try to show empathy. No, that's the way to go to better someone's mental health, to kick them hard while they are rolling on the floor already. So that was just fucking sickening and disgusting from this company. But luckily, it rarely happens, but things turned out better for me. Actually, I should thank this piece of shit for firing me back then, because now I could find this workplace where I'm currently at, and this one is way better in every aspect. So basically in the end, let's say that I won. So yeah, we could go on for many hours about the appalling things about the job market and the companies, the corporations, but many people have done it already, and also I think in this video it was enough, so I don't want to talk too much. Thank you for tuning in and watching it, and see you soon next time. Bye. Praise the Grim Reaper.